Hello YouTube, it is me, Ryan Hawley, once again. Welcome back, PB70 CD OEM. We are back with my IBM Aptiva system, and what we are going to be doing is a review of the IBM Aptiva Technical Update CD, which was released sometime in 1995. Now, as you can see, I do not have a physical copy, but this is the CD that we're going to be using. The physical copy, which is on my archive.org account, looks just like that. Let's see if we can zoom in a bit. It might not be focused, but I will be linking it in the description box. This is actually a CD to update the sound and modem M-Wave adapter drivers. As you can see, there's no volume control. I'm sorry if it's not showing correctly. I have the camera on the tripod here. I'm gonna switch over, well, that way a little bit. So you can see the clock, but there's no volume control icon. But there is sound. Give an example. We'll play the Windows 95 startup sound called the Microsoft sound, if I can find it. There it is. And I will be showing the M-Wave install as well as a few other things on this CD. Might make this video into a two-part video since it might take more than 15 minutes, even though I can put more than one video together with the help of Windows Movie Maker, which I've known for about a couple years now. I didn't find out this feature before I lost access to my channel in 2014 due to my login and user information being stored on a text file, which was unfortunately on a hardware encrypted hard drive, so there was a gigantic delay. I apologize once again for being inactive for 7.5 years, almost 8 years. Anyways, without further ado, we got the CD in the drive. I've got the autoplay feature disabled. Well, the IBM company did that because part of the rapid resume feature requires it to be disabled in order for it to work correctly. I don't know why that is, but yeah. So we're going to double click on apt serve CD, Aptiva service CD. This is what it looks like when it first comes up. International Business Machines Corporation, license agreement, Just click I agree. To install some updates, you will be asked to restart your Aptiva, then start the Surface CD program. To ease restarting the program, we have put an icon on the desktop. Now, after removing the CD, after a while, the icon will show a white paper Windows icon, because the icon file for the exe, it's actually in the exe, is actually on the CD itself. So, but once we're finished with the CD, it optionally can just delete it once you're done with it. Now, depending on your system, there might be some other items in there, like the Wall Street money fix, but that's for some slightly older master CDs. And updates DOS, although this one right here, the VGA driver update for the Trident video chip on the system board for these models, doesn't really need to be run through DOS, and you can actually just install the driver through the CD, so don't have to put the files on a disk. Now, in some cases, you might see an Aptiva M series or A series for Odyssey models. BIOS update, depending on what Aptiva model there is. They've made this for the C-series Aptiva models too. Courageous is what they are called. And then this is the IBM Update connector program. I would recommend against installing it since it's outdated. It won't work anymore anyways, and it'll just take up extra disk space, so it'll technically be considered bloatware since it's no longer in service and won't work for anything. However, I will be later on installing it for the sake of the video, just to show what it's like and if anyone's interested. So we're going to start with M-Wave Part 1. It says you must follow the instructions on screen and the information button. Of course, just follow along on what I'm doing because I've done this many times. Okay, we'll click on Install. Now what Part 1 does is it removes the older M-Wave software. You are about to remove our software from your system. This will delete the entire M-Wave directory. Do you really want to do this? Yes, we do, because it's outdated. Any personal files in that directory will be lost. Well, don't put any files that you want to keep in there. That's what it's referring to, and I really never do anyway, so yeah, we'll... It says if you have not closed the Windows 95 operator agent. Now I don't got one open. Install needs to restart Windows to remove the software from memory, the M-Wave driver, so we'll go ahead and do that now. I was going to say at this moment it might take a few seconds. Okay. Now as you can see there's no sound, but that's actually to be expected because it's been removed from memory and the old software is going to be taken out. But of course sound will come back after we install the new software and drivers. I will also be making a tutorial on how to do an M-Wave install for Windows 95, as well as Windows 3.1 and DOS, and OS2 for that matter, in a separate video. Because there are a few things that I should point out for the OS2, and even the DOS versions too. Anyways, just wait a few seconds. Depending on your system, it may take a while. That's just my chair making all that noise in the background, so I apologize about that. The software has been removed from your system. We click OK. Are you removing the adapter from your system? No, we are not, so we want to click No. Although clicking yes, I don't think it'll make a difference. But just to be sure, click on No. Install needs to restart to remove the M-Wave software from memory. Okay, I don't recall it being in memory this time. It did that last time, but okay. Alright. Okay. Let's read in the CD. Now we begin with part 2. And click install. You must follow online instructions. Online meaning the CD-ROM online, not online internet. I'm sure most or even all of you probably know, but just to be sure. Okay, it says to install the new software. It'll say don't worry about the README file because we don't need to, because this is the IBM company's different setup. And it recommends to go with the default install directory, and I do too. I have done other install directories that were not by default, and well, it didn't really work too well. So we'll click OK. Now it's copying the files over. Well, looks like we're 10 minutes into the video already. Now we're going to be making a 2-part video. I guarantee that. Okay. This is the longest part of the installation on this part 2. Depending on your system, even if you are using a CF card, which in this case I actually am, when I mention the OS 2 and Windows 3.1 install, that's actually one thing I want to mention. But that's a subject for another video. It was actually quicker than usual, honestly. Now what this is right here, double click on it, this will come up. Okay, it says no MIDI samples are found. You need to install the MIDI wave samples for the MIDI synthesizer to work. That'll be done in part 4. Now in order for that little gray M-Wave copyright box to come up, we're going to move this over to here. Then we're going to close out of these. It says the installation process is not complete. Need to follow the instructions in the folder, the README folder. It says not to worry about that. What we're going to do now is begin with part 3. Now this is where it's going to get a bit interesting. It says do not touch the mouse or the keyboard while the automation process is in progress, because it'll actually mess it up. Maybe mess it up. Here's what I would recommend doing to avoid any accidental movements of the mouse. Of course, even if you don't have your hand on the mouse right here, what I personally like to do is turn it upside down, just like that. And now we press the Enter key, which is another way of clicking OK. And it is normal for it to be in one spot for up to 45 seconds, it mentioned. So just be patient. Alternatively, this could be done manually too. This is one of those old IBM Global networks. It renames the this item right here. Okay, for some reason it's really taking its time. Oh, whoops. Okay, probably shouldn't have done that. I hit a key on the keyboard. Let's just go ahead and not do that again. I don't know why it did. That was my mistake right there, so yeah, just be patient. Wait up to 45 seconds, and if more than 45 seconds passes through, then at that point maybe you can start again. Okay, now we can touch the mouse and keyboard. It says, do you want to shut down your computer now? And it assumes that the M-Wave adapter is not yet installed, but it'll power the system down completely, but since the adapter is already installed, once it powers down, just turn it back on and then it'll continue from there. We'll just click cancel from there. Looks like we're almost to 15 minutes, so we'll go ahead and shut the computer down at this particular point. And we will be back in my next video, so this is part 1 of my video. I will see you guys in my next part.